As we all know, farming artifacts in Genshin is a really big part of the game, especially if you want to be able to get all of the stars in the Abyss, or be able to fully finish the Imaginarium Theater. Now, I have quite a lot of characters on my account, but not a lot of artifacts. So, I decided to farm the Viridescent Venerer artifact domain for 10 days to see what kind of artifacts I would be able to get in just that short period of time. Now, I do think that I'm gonna make like a series out of this where I go to every single artifact domain and farm the artifacts. And by saying every single one, I think I mostly mean the ones that are actually useful for characters nowadays, because there's a lot of domains that with artifact sets that are not that usable on the current characters. So I'm gonna definitely need to think that through. Now, as for the animal characters, almost all of the animal characters that I have on my account use the Viridescent artifact set. One of the main ones is Kazuha. He is always on my team. He never leaves the team. His build is pretty okay, but I kind of wanted to give him like this balance between elemental mastery and crit rate and crit damage. So I was kind of aiming for getting some maybe better artifacts for him, because they are not that crazy. They are good. He does have a lot of elemental mastery, which is important for him, but obviously I feel like it still could be better. Then another one of the characters is Jean, okay? Now, her artifacts are actually pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with her artifacts. I cannot really complain. She is a standard character. So, yeah, but we are not going to be changing the character's artifacts in this video. I might just do it in a totally different one, or just do it privately. I just wanted to check out how this whole process of farming an artifact set for a certain period of time would go for me. Listen, why 10 days? Because, well, this is what I actually had the time for before I actually needed to post another video. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, if I were to farm like an artifact domain for like a whole month or a year, I would literally become mentally unstable. So I didn't want to do it for a whole month, and then I wouldn't really know what to record in the meantime. So I feel like 10 days was enough to get some both bad pieces and good pieces. I do have to say that the beginning of the artifact farming wasn't going very smoothly. It wasn't very smooth. I wasn't really getting anything good. And I do have a little theory about artifact domains, and it might sound a little crazy, but I do think that there are specific days when the domain will actually give you better artifacts, but I might just be a little crazy. But I do think that it's actually kind of impossible for some reason, or I don't know, or my luck changed during the end of the video. So that's that. I also wanted to get a couple of like opinions on the artifact system throughout this video, and I got a couple of them. One of them being the fact that these artifact domains do not give enough 4-star artifacts, and you will see why I got that opinion from making this video later on, when I'm actually trying to level up the artifacts that I got. And this video will have two segments. One is me farming the artifacts, and the other one will be me basically rolling the artifacts. So like I mentioned before, the first couple of artifact runs were not really successful, at least in my opinion. I felt like I wasn't really getting anywhere in the first couple of days when I was actually farming them, which is kind of what makes me dislike farming artifacts to some extent, because you put in so much work into farming artifacts, and then you don't really get anything that good if you're not lucky enough. which I think it's, and then there also comes the rolling part of the artifacts. Like, even if you do get a good artifact, it's not guaranteed to be actually amazing, because it might just roll a very weird way, and the artifact all of a sudden becomes like bad. So yeah, and also the other set of artifacts in this domain is the Maidens set, which isn't very usable for any other characters. Oh, by the way, that flower was amazing. Okay, it was amazing. It was so beautiful. I saw it and I was like, yes, finally, this hard work paid off. Anyways, so yeah, the other set is the Maiden set. Now, not a lot of characters use it. The only character that I know that uses it is like Chi-Chi, and I don't even know if there are any other characters that could still use it. There are some other good sets. I don't even know if Chi-Chi uses this set anymore. That's actually kind of crazy, right? Like, because I know that there's another set that like heals and all of that stuff. By the way, I still have never built my Chi-Chi. Like, she does have some artifacts on her, but they're not the best. So the only good thing that kind of came out of the Maiden set in this video were the goblets, I think. Some of them were really enjoyable to look at, but then there's also the rolling part, so you guys will see how that goes later on. I was getting some like okay or like mid pieces, but it wasn't like anything crazy. For some reason I got really lucky by the end of the video when I was actually about to end the video, and thankfully I had some, like, what is it called, transistor resin? Something like that, you know, the halves of the moon, because it's moon shaped or whatever. So yeah. So I was getting some good pieces. I got a pretty good sands, but the main stat was HP. I don't know who that is for, but maybe someone would enjoy a sands like that, although I do doubt it. I don't know. I came into that domain with the intention of getting some better artifacts for my Kazuha, and yeah, that sands was also pretty good. So I came into that domain with the intention of getting better artifacts for Kazuha, and I ended up getting like really good. I ended up getting some good artifacts, but none of them were for Kazuha specifically, which was definitely a shame. I thankfully had a lot of, resin, a lot too, literally two, left over, so I could, get some more of the condensed resin. And honestly, the worst part about like farming artifacts is having to get the resin, like convert the resin into condensed resin with the crystal flies. I swear to God, I have the biggest beef with those little shits. For two reasons. One, they never stay in place. Getting them is like, sometimes it's just so annoying, guys. It's just so annoying. The second thing is, I only go to the locations that I remember they are in. So I remember where they are in 3 locations, okay? 3. That's not a lot. And I'm not going to turn on the interactive map just so I could farm some crystal flies. Like, that's just too much work, in my opinion. If I ever feel like restocking my supply of them, then maybe I will, but I would have to be like genuinely so bored and have like nothing to do. And at this point, my gameplay mostly looks like this. Log in, convert the resin, log out, log in the next day. I cannot convert the resin. I have to go do something. So I go into like an artifact domain. I go do something, blah, 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 blah. I use up all of my resin, obviously record a video. Oh, by the way, yeah. That plume, the dream. I had to look at it for a couple of seconds because I was like stunned. I did not expect that to happen. So yeah, so for now, I'm just a little bit too lazy to actually be doing anything like crazy like that in this game. Now it's time for the rolling of the artifacts. Now listen, this flower, it did roll death once. It's not the end of the world. I do think I wanted to convince myself like this. It still had the chance to be really good, and in the end it did turn out to be pretty good in my opinion. 2 death rolls, not the best, but also it could have been worse. Okay, now we are doing a quick little run through all of the artifacts that we have gotten, just to see if I could, lock any other artifacts and see if there's anything that I missed, because to be honest, I wasn't exactly checking the Maiden's pieces that much. I was mostly focused on the Viridescent artifact set, because that's the more useful one. When it came to leveling up the artifacts, which you will see what I meant by them not giving enough 4-star artifacts to level up the artifacts, I don't think that I had that many like really good pieces, okay? But the supply of my 4-star artifacts was literally run dry so fast that I had to like sacrifice some of the artifacts that I got, and like the artifacts that rolled bad, just so I could, level up some of the other artifacts and see where they go. Okay, when it came to the rolling, I feel like I was really lucky that day. Not only was I lucky in that domain, I was getting really good pieces. I mean, look at this plume. I was getting really good. Not only was I getting really good pieces, I was also rolling the artifacts. The artifacts rolled pretty well. I'm very happy about that. I mean, look at this. Is it a low roll? Yes, it is. But is it a lot of crit damage? Yes, it is. Does it have like 40 CV? No, it doesn't. But that doesn't matter. It's still a good piece. Let's be realistic about this, okay? But anyways, I did recycle a couple of fully leveled up pieces because they were useless, in my opinion at least, which you're going to be able to see in a second. You're going to be able to see me recycle them, especially like this chivalry set, though. At this point, that set is like an ancient relic, in my opinion. Like, nobody really goes into that artifact domain anymore. I feel like I haven't seen anybody go into the artifact domain in a while. And I used to farm it a lot for my beta at one point, but then I decided to kind of scramble that set. Where did all of these artifacts go? I have absolutely no idea. Do not ask me any questions about that because I cannot answer you guys. This piece was actually really insane. If it went like fully deaf, then I would understand it, but giving me crit rate at first and then fully deaf is just like literally giving me a false hope. So I recycled it. Of course I did. Also, I do kind of feel like physical damage sets are kind of useless. I said chivalry set, whatever I meant. The bloodstain thingy, the one that you just see me put on this, whatever. That set. Physical damage is kind of useless unless you would like to have a little bit of fun with your builds and specifically build a character to apply physical damage, like just for fun if you're bored or whatever. But other than that, I don't really think that many people use it. The only character that I know that specifically like does physical damage is Eula, and she is kind of an ancient relic herself. This is not me hating her. What I mean by that is that she hasn't had a rerun in a really long time. So I feel like, I don't know how long exactly, but I cannot say 2 years because 2 years ago I was having my annual break from the game. So yeah, I don't know, she's kind of ancient as well. I'm not saying she's bad, but she's like, people that have her are like, that's, that those people have been playing the game for a long time. I actually wanted to experiment a little bit with this piece and see if it would roll fully attack, and it did, which is, I've never had that happen to me in any of the previous artifacts that I was leveling up. I also wanted to level up some other artifacts a little bit as well to see where they would go, but some of them weren't exactly like fulfilling. And now it's time for me to show you guys what kind of artifacts I got. I feel like this 10-day run of this artifact domain was actually pretty good. I got some pretty good artifacts from it. I unfortunately was not able to level up every single one of the artifacts that had potential, mostly because of the fact that, like I said, I feel like they do not give enough 4-star artifacts, but that's just beside the point. And yeah, I definitely think I really enjoyed making this video. I think it's mostly because I was actually feeling fulfilled by the end of the last recording, and on the day before that, because I was getting better artifacts. I do have to say, like, I would enjoy artifacts way more if I was actually seeing some good results come out of it more often, and I feel like this video was exactly that. Of course, I'm not gonna be always this lucky, but I can only hope that maybe in the future there will be some improvements done to it, which the chances of that are probably small, but we can only just pray and hope that a Chinese player has an issue with it, and yeah, and they do something about it. So that's it for this video. If you enjoyed watching it, then I would really appreciate if you left a like and subscribe to see more content like this from me in the future. And yeah, see you next time.